Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Monday, we're right back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map of the moment, and it's this one. It's 100% vanilla and it's 100% vanilla. So good, I said it twice. Now, it's 100% vanilla in a way that you are not going to be expecting. See, in the editor, you can build maps using mods and then upload them and have them play 100% vanilla, and that's how you're going to see most maps these days. A map made with mods but playable in vanilla. This is a map made with no mods, played in the no workshop mode, and it's not bad for it. We've got an interesting map coming up immediately after that as well, but before we do any of that, I have a daily reminder for you. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first map is Ultra Vanilla by Stalker. Yeah, Ultra, because it's not just vanilla, it's Vanilla Ultra. I see where I'm going there. There's your start square. It's mostly an island and it's fine. Okay, that's all I'm saying about that one. The terrain heights across the map has plenty of playable, buildable space and some interesting shapes to play and build into as well. The resources are good and strong, and the way they've been designed as well is very good for gameplay. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, the fishing map looks like this. All of the little fishies are in there. Very neat work. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's Ultra Vanilla, 100% vanilla, so you won't be needing anything. Alright, does say there, I challenged myself to create a map in no workshop mode, and this is the result. So yes, yes, there's definitely a healthy respect for the creators of the early maps. We be using the vanilla temperate theme, and the realistic 1.2 LUT's the only thing which is non-vanilla here, but that's the one that you guys voted in all that time ago, and I use it consistently when no map is prescribed. It's just fair on every map that way, and all the maps don't have to have an ugly vanilla LUT. See where I'm going? Yeah, sort of. Anyway, down to ground level, it's fine. It's surprisingly good. If you have a look, compare this. Alright, this is built in vanilla, no mods whatsoever. If you compare this with some of the base game maps, the ones that come with the original game, the standards are so much higher here. So, oh, by the way, road and rail running parallel with each other. I mention that now because the rail's going to peel off in a moment, and but we'll join it again very soon afterwards. But I'm pointing it out now so that when it disappears, it won't be a surprise. Looking at it from this view, it's very pleasing, isn't it? We're heading down. You can see the old river valley down there. Little bridges already in place as well. A nice smattering of trees here and there. That's just about the right level of trees. It's not too treed and not untreed. It's a middle treed. And then the rail peels off to the left. We'll be joining the rail very, very shortly. Don't worry. It just finds a different way onto the island. It goes just off that way and it'll come back. We'll meet it in a moment. Right, that's a rarity on the map. One tree underneath the highways. Again, as you're playing this 100% vanilla, you will not be seeing that tree, but it is part of the tree count. It won't make very little difference at all. That road is going down towards the start square. Let me just show you where this road heads off to. Heads off that way, and you can see the rail coming in from that direction as well. We are going to have a separate look at the rail and see how it makes its way across that river there when we've finished following the highways, because that's what we normally do. Okay, heading down towards the start square now. Plenty of buildable space down here. This is all prime estate. May not be the first tile you buy, but you'll definitely be buying this tile if you come down this way. We've got an intersection in place to get you started in this area. Again, was this built by hand or was it grabbed off the workshop? I'm going to say that I trust Stalker when they say it's 100% ultra vanilla. Good quality work. Let's just look at the curves there. They have spent a lot of time making that work. It's almost too good to be vanilla, no workshop. But I trust them. There's no, why would they lie about it? Why would they lie about it? They wouldn't. So I trust them implicitly. But yes, some very good work here. They've taken their time, made sure every single part of these, again, that's almost an identical. Are you sure it's not grabbed off the workshop? Look, Stalker, I believe you. I genuinely do. There's no reason. Why would you lie about it? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. I would. Oh, yes. I'm for the praise. Praise to BonBon. I did all of this myself, apart from all the bits I copied off the workshop. Anyway, that's me. Not Stalker. Anyway, plenty of buildable space. Right, let's have a little look at that rail. It peels off. Remember, it peeled off here. We'll follow it. It's a nice route. It's not too complicated. Quite simple. We even have a little junction down here as well, I believe. If we head over, there you go, there's the junction. Junction stays on this side of the river, and then you get the two bits that branch off, go to the other side of the river, come back together very neatly there. And because we're just a little bit too low still, we have a little loop-see around. You can see the old train here. A little bit of a loop-see around here and follow the train. Do you know what? I'm not going to follow the train, but I think it's very pretty. It's probably a little bit steeper than true realism, but again, does it claim to be true realism? It does not. But in terms of Cities Skylines standards, I'm very happy with that one. I don't see any problems here at all. I cannot see, just waiting for the train to come. I can't see any issues down here. There might be a little bit of foliage that could be trimmed back. But here she comes. Here she comes. Right through. Straight at us. And it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, there might be possibly a little bit of a thing there. Now, we have done Stalker once in the past. Episode 1495, if you want to see some of their earlier work. That was Bodies in the Harbour. Do you remember Bodies in the Harbour? Oh, yeah. Gave it 11 stars. Very strong, striking, memorable map. Credit for that. And then I've got some credit for this start square. I was a bit questioning, but I think that might be your second tile. That might be your third tile. Then you could have that tile there for resources and that one for the oil. And that sorts you out on that side. Then you've got this one, probably that one, and maybe that one. I think that makes 9. So, yeah. No, that'll be 9. That's an interesting 9 tile play, and you do have options. You don't have to go with this particular setup for your 9 tiles. You can branch out in different directions. I think I was concerned that there wouldn't be a very workable 9 tile setup, but it works very nicely. This intersection's a bit different. I'm all for a little bit different. It's out of the way. It's just a little bit of a frivolous thing. I'm good with it, and in its location, that's the place for it. This one, far more central, very nice looking cloverleaf, very nice looking cloverleaf. Possibly the vanilla one that has been upgraded a little bit, and I would not blame you. Very difficult to do, as you know, with the vanilla tools, and like here, if I use a mod now, I like to use Move It to show you how close the nodes are here. So I imagine they started with the nodes and then they worked out from the nodes just to make it fit. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever they've done has definitely worked. Resources, we've got this hill which has got ore, and we've got a bit of a quarry nibbled out as one side of it. And then the other side of the highway, this wetland area here, this is all oil as well. So you can see how it's all set up and ready to go if you're looking to play with any sort of industry style game. I'm happy. I'm happy. We got the Essential Lighthouse. Haven't checked out the Essential Lighthouse yet. On a little island there with Lighthouse Keeper's Cottage. Couple of piers that you could sail from one to the other, and that's how you get onto the island. It's a neat little thing. It's a neat little thing. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but in an ultra vanilla map, I think that's about all we can really ask for. Got a little bit of a loop around here. You can see the underwater part of here. And if we check the shipping routes, you'll see that we have allowed for this. Actually, there are your resources. There's your shipping routes. Try that again. There's your shipping routes. Get rid of that. Boom. Right, so yes, the ship's going to loop around very neatly. In fact, it's a very nice set of shipping routes. We've got little shipping triangles wherever they be needed. And I would say that is very slick, clean and tidy work. And Stalker, you can take a little bow for that. That's good work. Right, water flow in the start square, which I have unlocked a few around it. So it's this island, isn't it? Yeah. Very strong water flow through here. So if you want to pump and draw, you can. And then there's a little extra bonus in the start square. We even have a poop drain down here. So stick your sewage outflow into that and you won't even brown your water, which is, I guess, a more aesthetic thing. But yeah, always good to see when a creator just adds in these little bits and pieces to make your city build a little bit more fun. Of course, you can just fill that one in if you don't want it and build on it. Right, okay, let's have a little look at the rivers. I kind of like the shapes of the rivers, but some of them are a little bit clunky, especially in terms of water spawn points. Shape of this one is very neat, so we follow this one up into the hills, and again the shapes are nice, but the yeah, as you get up into the hills, yes, we're out of the 25 tiles, so nobody's ever going to see them, but like here, this is leaky hill here, this hill is leaking lots of water. For what it is and the sort of map that it's going to be, that is absolutely fine, but you're not going to get bonus points for it, let's just say that. You're not getting bonus points. You're just getting a nod, an appreciation. I mean, that is 3 stars through and through. All good work. And the overall shape is quite enticing. Sort of map that I feel that I might have been tempted to play. Maybe about 6 years ago. That's just me. But what about you? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But remember, you're voting on Ultra Vanilla and not the other map, which is coming up after the intermission. What do I think of Ultra Vanilla by Stalker? Well, I think they've done a reasonable job. I like the design of the map. I don't think it's iconic. I don't think it's really grabbed me and shook me and said, you've got to give me 4 stars. So I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the top end of 3, though. It's pleasing enough. There's nothing wrong with it. And it's better than some. Detailing, pretty much the same. There's lots of good work on here. And bearing in mind how hard it is to do a map of this quality with no mods. So you don't get any bonus points for it just because you're handicapping yourself. But I think I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go for the top end of 3 stars. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing really that's screaming I've got to give a 4th star for it, apart from the handicap. Gameplay potential, I'm going into 4 stars on this one. Again, I'm not super enticed, but I think it's definitely going to be a good gameplay for those of you that want to give it a go. So Ultra Vanilla by Stalker. BonBonB said approval. Oh, no. I'm hanging back on it, I think. I'm just this, yeah. All good. It's a nice map, though. And there's another interesting map coming up right up after this. And so back to our second map. Now, this one is a real-life fantasy location. Yeah, it's taken from a book and a film. It's a book. I feel like I'm doing charades here. Give us a clue. It's a book and a film. 4 words. First word, Lord. Second word, of. Third word, the. You've got it. Yes, we're off. We're off to Middle Earth. And a creator we've done it a few times in the past. They do like doing fantastical and fantasy maps. They've requested this once, the longest waiting creator request map on the list, and hence we are reviewing it today. Today's second map is the Shire by Magic. Okay, Magic. Magic's done some really weird and wonderful stuff in the past, and they're particularly proud of this map. I'm wondering if has it loaded in properly. There's your start square. Because it just feels a little bit like it hasn't loaded in properly to me. I can only review what loads in for me, and every other map seems to be loading fine. There's your resources, good strong resources. Every other map seems to be loading in fine at the moment, so I'm assuming it has loaded in correctly. And there's nothing in the, there's your, if you've got Sunset Harbour, fishing map looks like that. But yeah, it seems fine. there are one or two minor problems, but I think they are only minor problems. We have got a requirement list on the right hand side there. There is a one-click collection with 37 items in it, shortly written description. There's a list of things there. One thing on the right hand side though, the oleander, this thing here, this is a requirement, but it isn't in the one-click collection. So you might want to add that one. Yeah, it is your one-click collection with all the bits and pieces. We've got a very specifically made the Shire theme. Like in here, the Castro props. I don't remember seeing any Castros in this map. I didn't even know what a Castro was until today. So yeah, at least I've learned something today. Yeah, we got the Shire theme. We're also bag end is there as well. I didn't find a bag end. Loading screen didn't say bag end had loaded in or being used anywhere. And there's no oleander. See, we're alphabetical order. There's no oleander in the one click. In terms of the loading screen reports, there's two assets that are missing: the mini fly agaric and the more L patch, which are coming up with this error. That one and this one. So I don't know how much is missing from the map because of those two. Down here, if we just search for the oleander down here, there you go, oleander 1 and 2, they are on the map. So, yes, there are oleanders, they have loaded in. The other bits that were missing, oh, look at this road, it's Roman road. Very good choice of road. One thing I'm always been pleasantly surprised isn't the right word, pleasantly surprised by with Magic, is some of the things they've found on the workshop, like on this map, bag end. I didn't even know there was a bag end on the workshop. The Roman road, I didn't even know there was a Roman road on the workshop, and so on. There have been weird stuff in the past that they've found on the workshop and incorporated it into their builds, and I applaud it generally. Now, again, I'm going to review the map as we see it on the acknowledgement that I feel that there's some stuff missing. You see, this is the Shire, and while it's very pleasing, also have a little look at the way the road just glitches at the landscape here. It's the landscape on the sides could just be smoothed out to make it look less like it's been, I don't know, just laid down in a speed build. But yeah, it's fine. The map is fine, but I'm not feeling the magic. I'm not feeling the Lord of the Rings. I'm not feeling Bilbo Baggins lives here. It's just fine. And I wanted, before loading up the map and from the screenshots or whatever, I was hoping for a little bit more magic. And oh, what's this here? A little bit of terrain glitching in the road. That's not a big problem. That's fine. Let it go. These Roman roads, they do actually glitch when they have junctions here as well. So that's something, a little bit of blue mantle as well there. That's just one of those things that sometimes you get textures that don't clip into each other very well. And that appears to be the case with this Roman road. As we head over here, this is where I was hoping everything was going to get magical. Come over the brow of the hill, heading in towards the middle of the map. This is where it's got to feel really nice, yeah? And it just doesn't. Oh wait, I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but I'm just not, that road doesn't connect there. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. And it goes all the way over there. It's not fine. See, I could do it being connected one way or another. But and again, you can see the glitching of the road into the terrain again. So a little bit of smoothing along the edges of the roads to make them work. So there's so many little things like this on the map, across the map, that makes me wonder how much hasn't loaded in. But every other map that I've been looking at lately appears to have loaded in fully and correctly. So I'm just working on the assumption that it's just a not the world's best fantasy map. I'm sorry, Magic. I really wanted to love this one, and I don't mind it. But for the sort of style of gameplay that you're setting it up for, like the magic of Lord of the Rings, this little bridge here is a very neat little bridge. I don't necessarily want the second pillar. I've got a pillar clipping through the underside of the bridge there. But again, the shape of the bridge, I would just prefer this to have been a little bit of a humpback bridge rather than comes in straight and then it drops off on the other side. There's just lots of little things that I would have liked. Like this area, this is core key part of the map. I think it might even be the start square here actually. I'm not entirely sure. I've lost where I am. But yeah, here is like I kind of want it to be twee and sweet and nice little Teletubby style hills and stuff like that. And this is probably the tweest, sweetest part of the map, this wetland area. And I mean, it's fine. It's fine. That in itself, yeah, whatever. And the overall general shape and scale of the map is fine. Like, we've got a good sized forest going on here, a good mix of trees. So you've got a good mix of. It's plausible you could have thinned out some of the trees that was needed to subscribe to get a similar sort of effect. But you've got a good effect, and I can't really fault you for having you know, forests that aren't of an interesting style and diversity. Then we head over here. We've got some very nice mountains. Oh yes, these are very nice mountains. This theme that you put together for these mountains, there's nothing here that I would change. This is magical. I mean, you're not going to do much building over here, but that's fine because backdrop, edge of the map, backdrop, mountains, it looks stunning. All credit for that one. So we come out of the mountains. There are some hillsides down here that I don't mind a little bit of ruffling and ruggedness, but this doesn't feel natural. It just feels like a tree brush, and it could just be smoothed out a little bit. It just feels a bit cheaply made. I'm saying bad things. I'm trying to find positives. Positives is I like this. Okay, this river is fine. It's kind of got a secondary spawn point here that is very visual, but I'm seeing this as being an old canyon, which the river never fills this. It just feeds its way down here. It's eroded its way down. You never want to put too much water through here because we have this bridge over here, which is very sweetly done as well. So yeah, this river on the other hand feels like it's being gouged and drawn through. It might have been following the right route, but I'm not seeing anything here that makes me feel that this is any form of it's not great. I'm sorry, Magic, it's not great. I want it to be great. You can even see like the little ziggy zags here where it's just you're working. It needs a bit more love. Here again we have water spawn points that these are off on the edge of the map, like on the previous map where you had spawn points similar to this out on the edge of the map. I'd be okay with that because it's out and away, but that is pretty slap bang in the middle of the map. So yeah, and this one as well. This, honestly, I don't mind the idea of a stunning waterfall coming from here, but again, it looks a bit gouged, it looks a bit hurriedly done, doesn't really add anything to the map. You come out here and you're actually just a little bit more disappointed than you are awestruck. Waterfalls are tough, mind you, so to be fair, waterfalls are very tough to do in the game. Loving the textures that you've got here. I'd like to say the texture in that rock there looks great. One thing that you can do, and I wouldn't expect you to do it now, but it's also a little bit like an egg-shaped hill here. It's the texture that's doing all of the work, and maybe if you just do a little bit of soft work with the terrain brush into the mountains, just to give them a little bit more ruggedity, or rigidity even. Right, have me show you the terrain lines here. Now, it's hard to see, but we've got the road that heads up. This is switchbacks going up into the hills. But have a look at this switchback here. This one goes up, and then it comes back down the hill. It goes up the hill, and then back come out of here. You can see it quite clearly. Goes uphill, like so. Probably a quicker route, yeah. Ignore the long route. We'd take the quick route, thank you. I wouldn't take that long route. I'm guessing this is where Bag End is supposed to go. I'm guessing. That's the most magical part of the map. I hate to say it like that one, but that is the most magical part of the map, and it's almost like it isn't finished. And I know there are a couple of bits missing from the workshop, because we have spotted that one right at the start of the show. This is how switchback should work. This is all uphill all the way. But yeah, there's a bit of foliage missing from this map, definitely. But yeah, I can only review what I see. Oh, if you follow this road back the other way, I don't know if this is built into the story of Lord of the Rings, but we have a canyon that has been just crudely cut through there with the Roman road, going down to what could be a very nice harbour area. The overall shape of the map is very nice. I feel that the idea of running it with like Roman style roads is a very neat idea. It just doesn't really pop as much as I wanted it to, and I really wanted this one to. But what do you think? Am I completely wrong? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month. The Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now. It'll take you to the voting page. But make sure you're voting on the Shire, because there are 2 maps to vote for. What do I think of the Shire by Magic? Well, I had high hopes because, frankly, Magic has given us some very striking, memorable maps in the past, and they were, in their request, they were very proud of this map, which is another reason why I think it probably hasn't loaded in properly. But what can I do? Given what I can see, I don't hate this. Those mountains really do make it pop. But I can't go to a 4th star. So I'm going to go for a fairly high 3 stars. Detailing. It's okay. I'm going down the middle. Middle 3. Gameplay potential. Look. It's playable. It's not broken, so it's getting 3 stars. But I want to be drawn in to try and do a Lord of the Rings style build, or have the option of a big city build. I'm not seeing either of those on this map, so I'm going to go for the bottom end of 3 stars because it lacks the inspiration. I'm sorry. The Shire by Magic. Not my favourite Magic map. Definitely worth checking out their other maps on the workshop if you're looking for something just a little bit different. For me, that one, it's got some very nice mountains, but doesn't really work for me. Again, that's what the comments are there for. Tell me how wrong I am in the comments. I will deal with it in my own time. Save face later. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and now elite. Use the words of the day in the comments. Score yourself some population points just for fun. I'll be back on Wednesday with another What map, and hopefully tomorrow night with another treasure hunt. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.